Okay, in this video, I'm just going to do a little bit of, chit-chat kind of thing about my channel, about what's going on in the world today, and people I'm worried about along this line. I get this one out of the way. Somebody is leaving me tons of comments. Now, my channel's set to where I have to approve every comment, except I just recently changed it to where the people I've known, have known for years now, and they don't leave offensive comments. I have those where they are pre-approved. They just go right through. I don't think I have everybody yet, but we'll see. But the other ones, I think what it means, okay, I see a number. It says, to approve, but there are no comments there. And I think what that means is the person is somebody I had blocked like a long time ago. And it could be one of them. I'm guessing. I don't know if maybe something's going wrong right now. There's always glitches with anything. But if you're leaving, I think I know who it is, and it's a man, and it's a fake account. I know who he is, and he just needs to stop, because I'm not going to see those comments. Nobody will see those comments. And yeah. Okay, and the reason I say that I know who it is because one somehow got through. I don't know how it got unblocked. I blocked the person again. Yeah. The comments never had anything to do with my channel. And one time he went way too far. And so I blocked him. They never really made any sense anyway. Okay, so this guy's just wasting his time. If he's writing to me, I don't see the comments. But what I was hoping, it was from somebody that I am actually worried about. It's a woman, and I've known her for years. I've seen her on video, so I know it's not a fake account. And she had disappeared for a while, which was understanding what was going on. And she came back, and she was near Houston, so she knows who I'm talking about if she's watching. Near Houston, and then she disappeared again. Hopefully it's just that she's starting her new life, getting everything together, and really busy with that. So I'm hoping that's all that it is, and maybe I'll hear from her soon. So yeah, I'm quite worried about her. Okay, and there are some other people I worry about, but they know why. But there's one other person, and this was a person a couple of years ago, or maybe about a year and a half, and she was having a lot of trouble, and she basically said something she shouldn't have. I'm not going to say the word on this, and somebody reported her. And then she said somebody in Texas was going to help support her for a while, and she was going to be here. Never heard from her again. So, worried about her. But, there are people to worry, I'm worried about online, but there's also people I'm worried about offline, who are IRL, as some call it. It's all real life. But, and that's because of the hurricane Dorian, and headed toward Florida. And everybody in Bahamas, that's horrible. That anybody who's there, what they're going to go through. I've lived in Florida, actually Fort Lauderdale, Pembroke Pines, and Hollywood, Florida. And I've lived along the Gulf and Texas. I've lived in Georgia, North Carolina, more places than that. And I know about hurricanes. I've been through several hurricanes, and it's bad. It's really bad. So of course, my concern goes out for them. And also, Adam has family that lives in Miami. 5 of them, in fact. 5 family members. So, yeah, we're worried about them. Okay, and of course, then there's the yet another mass shooting in Texas yesterday. And yeah, when you get older, you start to really realize why your parents said the things they did that really annoyed you when you were younger. Like, what's the world coming to today? It seemed like they were blaming your generation, that it was all your generation's fault. It's no one generation's fault. People who have that kind of mindset, oof, yeah, it kind of shows their ignorance. But when you're younger, it did seem that they're blaming your generation. Me, and others in my generation, that's how we thought. That they were insinuating that it's us. We're all at fault. But anyway, no. But you get it. You really start to get it, why they said the things they do. What is going on? I mean, seriously. And then they said that today's September 1st. They're saying that Texas changed laws to make it easier. Really? Seriously? I had no idea. Really had no idea. No. And I'm Texan. No. And somebody could say that would be an ignorance theirs to think that it's all Texans that, are doing this or pushing this. No. Where I live north of Dallas, and this area I have lived most of my life. I've lived in several states. I've lived most of my life, I'd say, in the Dallas area or suburbs, metro. And if you came here, I would probably be the only true Texan you'd see. And you see my mind is no, you don't make it easier for people to get these and kill people. No. But like I said, and that's just my observation all these years. It's usually transplants. I'm not saying transplants are voting this. I'm just saying that what I usually run across are transplants from other states, from other countries. No matter where I've lived in the Metroplex, if I lived in Dallas or around Dallas, where I worked, what I did, I was usually the only person who was actually born and raised in Texas there. Seriously. This is many, many years, okay? So, I've also lived in Austin, San Antonio, Houston, and continue, okay? I moved around a lot when I was younger, a lot, and I have lived in these places. I sometimes go to these places. Yeah, no people in these places. So, but yeah, I seldom ever run across anybody. Seriously, me and one of my friends, we were the only two that would run across who were actually born and raised in Texas. And she's from Dallas. I'm not. I'm from closer to Houston. And yeah, we've both commented about this, how it's so unusual. Now, I'm not blaming them either. I'm not blaming any one person, any one place that they're from, or any one side of anything. I don't do that. I just don't. That just shows ignorance when a person does. Seriously. I think I've rambled enough on this. I just want to give some little bit of updates, something along that line. But seriously, like I said, I'm worried about people. People say our hearts go out to them, but really more than that needs to be done on certain things, And now, as far, I do want to mention this. I know a lot of people want to blame the weather channels, that they're, the weather channels are lying to us. I joke and say this is the time of the season, the time of the year when they lie to us. They say it's going to be real hot, or they're going to say they say it's going to be real cold, and it's not. Seriously, I think that's ridiculous. When people actually mean it. I joke and say, because like today was supposed to be real hot, up in upper 90s, mid to upper 90s, and this morning it says it's going to be in the lower 80s, the high. So it was the same way yesterday. But yeah, that kind of stuff happens. Why in the world this person's falling so close to me, I don't know. Yeah. And now as far as the hurricane, they get ticked off and say, oh, we did all this planning and everything. Well, guess what? I lived when we didn't have that kind of forewarning. No, we were totally out of, didn't know, like that day maybe they'll say something, no. You don't know what it really is like, so it's better to be prepared. It's better to spend some money than your life, lose your life. Because hurricanes are really bad. In fact, I can tell a story, during one of those times, back then, it must have been back in the 90s, I'm thinking. And I had a Ford Ranger King Cab. I remember it. And I was coming from Houston. I think I'd just gotten north of Houston. I don't think I was on the interstate, though. I don't remember. But I was way out in the country, nothing for miles. And a hurricane changed direction. Once it got on land, it changed, direction right behind me. Okay, seriously, I didn't have cell phones and all that. No, we didn't have those, they weren't that, if they did, they weren't common. But anyway, I'm on the road. I was on the road for hours, and that hit, and I basically, it made a new meaning behind riding the waves. Yeah, surfing the waves. I was driving down the road, say like this, and it was all waves of water. Okay, water, rain. And it was horrible. I could barely see in front of me, which is very dangerous. It was daytime, and I still couldn't see because of the torrential rains. And luckily, I finally saw a sign that said a rest area, because like I said, I was way out in the country. And I got off for the rest area and stopped. Well, there was a guy running, and he ran toward my truck. Now, this was a truck, didn't have a camper or anything like that. And he was running like he was going to jump in the back of it. Now, there were a bunch of diesels and, all this out there, so I didn't feel too bad. I kept driving upwards, and as much as I could, because he was trying to jump in, and that's right when it started to clear. It stopped raining, so I took off because he kept trying, seriously. But now of course, if we'd had more warnings, and back then, seriously, they didn't. I didn't even know there was a hurricane. I don't want to say a hurricane coming, but yeah, I didn't even know there was a hurricane out there. Okay, and that could have been for more reasons than one. I was on the road and all this kind of stuff and everything, but the forewarning wasn't like it is today. And it really bothers me when people say, well, they can't figure out where it's going to come and where it's going. Of course not. Study it a little bit. It's not like, they know exactly where it's going to hit. That's just not how it works. It's just not. But anyway, I said I was going to wrap this up, so now I am. Just for the record, I think that plays into a high sense of entitlement. They demand that everything be perfect. And yeah. Anyway, wrapping it up.